Okay guys, so today we're going to be having a look at how a hard drive works exactly. We're going to be taking apart this hard drive right here and having a look inside it, outside it, everything, how it works, what makes it tick exactly. So stay tuned for that, and please, if you do like this video, please remember to hit that like button, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button below also. So here we have it now. This particular hard drive right here is a Samsung 1.5 terabyte hard drive. The model number is an HD154UI. This hard drive right here is still spinning and all that, but it has bad sectors on it, so it's pretty much useless. It's gotten pretty bad now, so nobody can use it anymore. So it's perfect for us to strip and see how it works inside. Now, just a warning, don't go and strip your computer's hard drive or your laptop or what, because if you open up the lid on your hard drive here, that hard drive is pretty much a write-off if you don't do it inside of a cleaning room and know exactly what you are doing. So, just a word of caution, don't do that. Okay, so now let's get started. So first of all, this is the hard drive right here. Hope you guys can see it clearly. Okay, and the bottom, just to give you guys an idea of what we're working with. Okay, so now before we get to the exciting part of opening up the lid right here, I first want to have a look at this is right here circuit board on the bottom of the hard drive. This little board is also quite interesting because it's also integral to the function of a hard drive, and I haven't really seen many people cover the function of this board and what it does and how it works exactly before yet. So, okay, let's have a look at it first. Now, let's have a look here. So first of all, we'll see this chip is the biggest one on the board right here. This chip right here, on this particular motherboard, these boards do differ from manufacturer to manufacturer and model to model, but they all have the same basic chips on them. So this chip right here on this board is the buffer memory, or more commonly known as the cache memory of your hard drive. It's to help make it seem smoother, the hard drive. It stores data inside of it temporarily. It functions like the same as your computer's RAM. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty interesting right there. And then here right next to it, you will see we have the main processor for this board. This thing is what controls it. It's like the main controller. It connects everything. You will see there's traces running to your cache memory right here, and also to your SATA connector for your data, and everywhere else on the board from this little controller right here, because it gives messages to everything, tells everything how it's supposed to work. Even here some traces running to this chip. We'll get to it in a minute. And then we look down further here, that right there is just a transistor for power control. And in this little chip here is also just as important. This one right here controls the motor. The motor that spins right here, that spins the disks. This chip is very important because this motor has to be spinning at a very, very precise speed, and it has to start up at just the right time so that it doesn't make a big mess inside. So this chip is very important, very powerful little chip also actually. So yeah, well, that's interesting. But I think we don't really need to go through the rest of these coils and resistors and everything, what they all do, because then we are all gonna fall asleep. What we really want to see is what's going on inside of this thing here. Okay, so first of all, we gotta remove all of these screws so we can open up the lid. So these are Torx. Let's see what size. think it should be. Hope I have the right size in this kit I have right here right now, because I don't think I have another screwdriver set around. I don't think this one is gonna work, because this set right here is mainly for south hones. I'll have to get another screwdriver set just quickly. Go and grab it, and then we can have a look inside. Okay guys, now I'm back with the correct size bit for this hard drive. So let's remove all of these little screws. See what's going on inside. Okay, now let's see if it can open. Sometimes some of these drives will have hidden screws somewhere under the sticker, like these stickers on them. Maybe in here it will have one on the motor. Mostly the C-guides are the ones that have that. Now I already know where it is. It has one right here, because I've opened up quite a few of these drives already before. Like, yeah, there you can see it now. Sort of see it. There in the sticker, there's a little screw there, so even if you try to open it now, it wouldn't want to open. So yeah, I have to remove that screw right there also. But for that you have to tear the sticker, so yeah, obviously this voids your warranty also. And there it is, the hidden screw. Okay. Let's remove that one. And it doesn't want to come out because it's being mean. Oh, come on. Okay, there we go. Special little screw right there. Let's remove this lid. And there we go. Okay, so let's have a look in here. First thing you will notice is this little head right over here. And these beautiful shiny discs right over here also. Now, where shall we begin? First things first, I guess. So, these Samsung hard drives, they work a little different from, well, the C-guides and the Western Digitals that we are getting. But, yeah, the basic idea is the same. These work more like the older hard drives used to work. So, yeah, bear with me. I'm gonna explain everything, and we'll see. Okay, so first we have this actuating arm right here. This little arm can move. It's not supposed to move while the hard drive is off. So doing this is practically destruction to it. But like I said, I don't really care anymore, because this drive is already damaged. It's never gonna work again after I opened it now, so yeah. Okay, now this little arm right here holds the read and write heads. The read and write heads work with magnets. It basically charges it positively or negatively, the disc on the discs, little cells on the discs, on these platters. These platters are coated with a magnetic coating, which can then be charged by the head, and then it has a little head on it that has, by the writer on the head, and then it has a little head that can read it off of it again. As you can see, that little tip right there, that is the head right there at the very end of it. And these discs They spin at a very high speed. They spin at either, on most hard drives these days, they spin either at 5,400 RPMs, or they can also spin at 7,200 RPMs. So at an enormous speed. And that spinning creates a kind of turbulence inside of the hard drive, like you could, or a layer of air on top of the platters, which causes these heads to float above the head, so they don't above the disk. I mean, so they don't make contact directly with the disk exactly. They basically just float above it, and then they magnetically read and write onto these platters. And in a single hard drive like this, there can be multiple platters, like this one specifically. If you can see in there, you will see it has 3 disks that it's writing on. But some hard drives even has more, and it can write on both sides of it, so it has a pretty big amount of real estate there. Yeah, so this little arm, the way it works to move it, it's very simple. It has a coil inside of here, and it has two very strong magnets in between here that it basically just uses an electromagnetic force to move it once again. If we can get a screwdriver or something. This particular one doesn't have screws. Some of them have screws to holding it together. This one's just a magnetic force. We can lift up one of these, and they're very strong magnets, so yeah, lots of people like to use them for other things also. So there you can see, these are the magnets. These are those like neodymium watt magnets, those things. Very strong magnets. And then underneath the top magnet, it has a little coil. And then under that, it has another magnet. And that basically just actuates this head from side to side like this. Some of these heads on some of the other brands will even have a lock on the one side. Because you see, this particular one, it rests the heads in the middle of the platter. It has a space where it rests the head. This is an older design, mainly like older hard drives would work like this. Most modern hard drives has a little ramp here on the side where it parks the head. So it would move these heads off the platters completely when it turns off. And then as soon as it turns back on again and the disks are up to speed, it will bring the heads up, and they will never make contact with the platters. But yeah, this design also works, I guess. So, let's move on. What shall we have a look at next on this thing? Let's see if we can open up these platters a little more so we can see them better. I think if we remove these, my memory is not always that clear on what's where and what's how, because I mean, I don't take all my hard drives apart every day or something, and especially not Samsung ones, because these Samsung ones are the older ones and they are yeah, basically not such a common design anymore. Okay, so yeah, these little shields are not very common anymore. They used them for a while. Not sure why they put them in, but some brands put them in. Yeah, so that's the thing. Now we can see the platters more clearly. So you see they basically just spin up like that, and then the head can read or write data heads because it has more than one head. Okay, now let's see what we will do next. I think let's remove this little head, because since it's not going to be using it again, we can remove it now. Okay, so we just remove these screws right here. I believe you don't need to remove anything from the bottom on this particular hard drive. Some of them also has stuff on the bottom that holds it. But if I remember correctly, these ones you just remove that. I think the head might screw in from the bottom though. So yeah, that is the little thingy. Hey, wait, before we do this, I have an idea. Let's put this back. Let's power up this drive. Well, it's open, so we can see how it functions exactly. Maybe we can even connect it to the computer and see if it can read or write data. Though I doubt it would work really now. So, okay, let me just get this thing back together, and then I'll get a power supply and we'll just power it up, I think. Because this particular hard drive is in really bad condition. It won't be the best to use it if you want to see exactly how it works on a computer and everything. So I'm just gonna power this one up. I might do a video later again where I will show how it writes and reads data live while it's open. So, okay, I'm just gonna grab a power supply and then we can have a look at it. Okay, so let's see what happens exactly if we give power to this little thing. So first, I've got a basic normal computer power supply here, not doing anything fancy today. I'm just gonna plug it in. Okay, and there we have it now. And now I'm gonna turn it on. 1, 2, 3. And it's spinning. I don't know if you can hear that. Ooh, yeah, this hard drive is bad. Hear that tick? That's what's happening when you hear your hard drive giving that click of death that they always talk about. And I think it might have shut down automatically now. Okay, let's do that one more time. I'm gonna hold it up closer to the camera so you can see it and hear it more clearly. As you can see, the discs are spinning up first, then the head starts moving, trying to read, but it can't find anything useful, and it shuts back down again. It's spinning down, and yeah, that's basically all that's gonna happen like this right now. So yeah, that's it for powering it up. So now I've got a couple of ideas, but some of them are not going to work that well now because, yeah, we basically don't have a continuously spinning disk. Some of the older hard drives were easier to do this stuff with, play around with, because they weren't so sensitive. They would just stay on even if they were completely busted. But I think let's try and drip some alcohol on top of these discs and see exactly what it does. That might give you a better idea of how fast they're spinning also. Well, they're still spinning. So I just got a syringe here full of alcohol. And I'm gonna turn it on and let's see what happens when I drip this on it. Yeah, I don't think you can see that so clearly, but I don't really have anything else here. Wish I could show it to you in slow motion. That would look really cool. And now it's slowing down. Okay, well, I've got another idea with the alcohol. Let's put some of it on the disc. Like that. Fill it up this middle part completely. And then let's see what happens if we spin it up now. Take a little more. Yeah, okay, that's enough now. Yeah, okay, let's spin it up. This is gonna be a big mess now. Oh yeah. Hey, it contained it inside of the hard drive's housing for the most part. I think those platters are pretty clean now. I'll put that back in there because I don't think it's really going anywhere. Let's see what they look like when they spin down now. Maybe they're cleaner. We found a way to clean hard drives. No, not really. It's terrible actually. For a hard drive, I mean, it's really shiny. These make for really good mirrors. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the inside of a hard drive. We will have some more fun with other hard drives in other videos later on, I believe. But this particular one, yeah, it wasn't that exciting. But still, we got to see how a hard drive works inside. So it wasn't a total loss. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for today. So guys, if you found this video informative or even just, well, interesting in any way, then please do hit that like button. And please consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see more content like this, because I will definitely be releasing more. Okay guys, bye.